Hopefully everyone can hear us now. Slight technical thing.
On the plus side, if people can hear us now, as per usual with us, you've not really missed much. So, yeah, we're now at that stage of qualifying now. Everyone getting their second runs in. Just on board with Joshua Bashford at the moment, as he rounds the Malc bend as a AlphaTauri in the wall there, which I didn't quite see who that was. Must be Reshka because the other one has already found the wall. So yeah, on board with Joshua Bashford, he'll be looking to improve his time. Got a big slipstream here off of, I think it's Owen in front of him, his teammate.
That's his teammate, yeah.
So a massive slipstream. I didn't quite see his split time for the second sector there, but you'd have to think that was a massive slipstream he's just had from Owen now. I would be surprised if he doesn't improve this time here.
He's going to come up to the line there for Joshua Bashford. And it's 5th place, half a second improvement, 131.8. And obviously, for those of you that are watching the stream, apologies for the no speaking earlier. Slight technical change needs to be done. But welcome to the Invictus Racing League Tier 1 in partnership with Gridfind.com and Venturi Studios for Round 9 at Las Vegas. This very tricky circuit. But the only thing you miss is we've started naming corners and we're hoping it's going to stick for the rest of time. But Emir currently on pole position at 131.4 from Merck at 131.5. Merck has slightly changed his name and I'm not quite certain what the deal is, but
he seems a lot happier than normal now by the seams of it, looking at his username, so it's always good to see.
Always like a happy F1 driver. MDJ currently in 3rd, got spooked 4th, and Joshua Bashford rounding out the top 5. Schizophrene has an invalidated lap time now, as we're just looking for. I think everyone's pretty much on their in laps or getting prepared for their final. I say that ARL is coming to the line. Looks like he's on a flying lap. It's a 132.2, 8th place for ARL.
Yeah, Schizophrene a little bit deep on brakes into the Sphere car park area, and just missed the apex of the tightening left there, and had to go across the runoff. And obviously, because it's such a big cut, you do make it. It's a naturally an invalidated lap. So yeah, big shame for Schizophrene. But he'll have at least one more chance to try and improve.
Okay, out lap, Martin out lap. I think Martin's going to be the first person to start his final flying lap here. We'll go on board with Emir for a lap afterwards because he is also on an out lap. He's just coming up to turn 12. So here's Martin into turn number 1. Nice he does it. You've got to be so careful through those first couple of corners just to make sure the back end doesn't step, because it'll cost you a lot of time. Because the biggest thing here with Las Vegas is if you slide like Conan did through turn 1, the way the straights are, that affects all of the next straight as well, because you don't carry that momentum.
Absolutely, and Conan's realised that he's completely bailed out of this lap already. So obviously he's now going to try and recharge. He's not got enough time to come back around, get another set of softs on. All this probably could well be his last set of softs anyway. So yeah, he's sort of put himself in that boat now where he's got to try and recharge the battery for another flying lap in a minute.
On board then with Emir for a lap of Las Vegas Grand Prix. Down towards turns 1, 2, 3, 4, what we're calling the harbour. As you just again, it's nice and gentle, drive it into the second part of harbour, then on to the straight up towards Caesars. At turn 5, you're going to be DRS open, down towards this 5th turn, 100 metres, braking down to 3rd, get it turning, don't clip the curb, bring the throttle in as you go over a slight crest, into the Sphere complex. Again, tricky braking into 7, because you're blind through the corner. And nice and gentle as you go through 7, 8, into 9, and then you're heading up towards 10, 11, where you're absolutely flat chat on the boards. No lifting until you get just round this left-hander of 11 as we head into the Malc corner at turn 12. Don't hit the curb, it will unsettle the car. Down the strip we go. DRS will be open. Longest straight of the circuit, you're going to reach speeds of 220 miles an hour with the DRS open and the hot lap on. In the race, you're probably looking at about 215 miles an hour with DRS. 150 meter braking into the plaza. Turn 14, cut over 15, open up 16 to give yourself the best possible run down the main straight. All you've got left is turn 17, which is almost a nothing bend as you go flat through it. Over the curb to the line, a 1:31.053. Emir says, beat that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good time. That, I'm going to be honest. I think I'd be happy with that, and like I say, puts down the gauntlet now to Merckx. Owen nearly got the favour paid back by Joshua Bashford, but they didn't quite time it right, and Owen only goes to 11th. Martin did hop up to 7th as well there, while you were on board with Emir.
Yes, good stuff. Good stuff. Looking at Conan, remember, this is the second flying lap here for Conan because obviously he realised he didn't quite get Harbour correct. And it would have cost him.
Oh, and Got Spooked has dropped it at turn 4. Had a little slide through 1 and 2, and then just the momentum of then trying to turn right for 3 and 4 just sent the car around. Currently having an Austin Powers moment here, but he's good. He's on his way again. But probably now too late, I think, to get round for another lap. So I think that'll be Got Spooked done for quali.
Reshka's retired at turn 1 at the Harbour. He is off circuit, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. But Conan, I think Conan ran out of fuel at the end there because he suddenly slowed right up. Conan didn't, because the problem is with qualifying, you can have it lean mixture on the fuel when you're on your outlap, but after that it locks itself on standard, so you can't even save fuel. Meanwhile, Merckx just coming through Plaza now. He clips the inside curve of 14. Not really what you want to be doing, but he's in tier 1. I'm not. Down towards the final corner. What's it going to be? It's going to be a 1:31.480. Quite some time away from his teammate of Emir. Emir looking incredibly strong. Oh, that was MDJ into the wall at the Plaza complex. I think he just got it, maybe clipped the curb through 14 and has unsettled the car, maybe onto the curb on the outside as well. And into the wall he goes.
Yeah, I was actually on board with MDJ, and he's just, as he's hit the curb, as you cut the corner, he's had a little slide by the looks of it, caught it, but then it's just fired him into the wall on the left. So, yeah, he wasn't up by much anyway. He may have got third, but not too big a drop there anyway for MDJ on that one.
Schizo free, the last man to cross the line. It's a 1:32.450 for him. Owen into the pits. ARL, good evening to everyone who is watching. ARL saying it's nice to be back after a while away. Thinks he won't have too much pace for time, but he's going to give it a go. And to be fair, I don't think he's done too badly at all there with a 1:32.210. But apparently his mechanics were a little bit slow getting him back into the pits, and he didn't actually get to do his final run in the end, courtesy of the Red Bull mechanics. But it is once again an Aston Martin front row lockout.
Absolutely, yeah, but slightly different. We've had it most of the time this season. It's been very, very close between the pair, but this time Emir has gapped Merckx by quite a margin there. So it will be interesting to see if Merckx can stick with Emir, or if he'll be in a battle with the guys behind or not.
Absolutely, Bruce, would you like to take us through the grid order for the Las Vegas Grand Prix?
Absolutely. So yeah, taking pole position is Emir Djokovic in the Aston Martin. Alongside is Merckx in obviously his teammate in the other Aston Martin. Third is Stinos in the Ferrari, with MDJ fourth in the Williams. Spooked fifth with Joshua Bashford in sixth in the McLaren. Ashtube seventh, Martin eighth, Conan ninth, ARL 10th, Schizo 3 11th, Reska 12th, Owen 13th, and Ghost not setting a time after crashing out in qualifying.
Yeah, I mean, Schizo 3 looks like he's disconnected, which is not ideal. Hopefully he'll get back in prior to the race start. But yeah, not ideal from Ghoster to be at the back. I mean, it could be a blessing in disguise. I mean, you just never know. But on a positive thing for him, at least he's going to have a lot of spare soft tyres available to him that are going to be fresh compared to everyone else.
That is true, and we have seen safety cars this week, unsurprisingly. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get one or two again tonight. Obviously, these guys are a bit quicker than the rest of us at IRL and tend to be a bit tidier and staying off the walls, but a circuit like this and the pace they're travelling at, it's a big risk, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, this is like Monaco, but the fast version of it. In reality, one mistake you're in the wall is just that you're not doing about 70 miles an hour. You're probably doing 150.
Yeah. Yeah, it's as you say, quite a big difference in the pace, and there's the line, the margins are so fine that one small mistake turns into a big mistake at this level. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they go. I think we could see multiple strategies coming into play here. We've even seen with safety cars people try 2 stops and they worked out this week. So strategy could be massively important if the safety car does appear.
Absolutely. We are just waiting for the go-ahead from Emir Olmert to get going and get this Grand Prix underway. Another thing to look out for whilst we wait is actually the pit entry. It's not an easy pit entry to get your braking right for, so I think we may see a couple of speeding penalties if the drivers are not careful, if it's under green flag conditions. Absolutely,
and even yesterday we saw someone hit the end of the pit wall when they completely misjudged their entry into the pit lane. So, it is a tricky one. As you say, it's kind of around a bit of a blind bend. Us guys down in the low end, we tend to be a bit more steady. Well, obviously, you personally weren't, Jordan, on Thursday, but we're always backing off just to save those. You might lose a few tenths, but obviously these guys won't be doing that. They'll be trying to hit that pit lane as quickly as they possibly can while staying within limits. But here we go.
We have the 5 red lights. Skeeter's back in, but we are green at the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Who's going to have the best getaway between Emir and Merckx? It looks like Emir's definitely got off the line very well there. Merckx slots in further behind. Then we have side-by-side action as we head through harbour for the first time. That looks like Schizo's Ghost just falling down, waiting for him to take control. Ghost and ARL look side-by-side. Ghost gets through. Meanwhile, got spooked and MDJ. They're side-by-side, and they're actually almost looking at Stinos as well, into Caesars. A bit of contact between the Williams and the Alfa Romeo. Luckily, no damage on the wall on the outside, but that's allowed Ashtube and Joshua Bashford opportunities at positions, of which Joshua does make one up, into the Sphere Complex. And Conan now down the inside of MDJ. Not quite going to make that one work. He's actually going to lose out to Ghost there. As MDJ has a massive slide. Keeps out of the wall, but that's more positions lost. And I think there's carnage behind. A bit of contact. That's a front wing gone from Martin. And we have a virtual safety car for debris, and it didn't take long before some carnage ensued.
No, it was a very slow and clumsy incident at the back. There were 3 wide coming out of the sphere section, and there was just a slight bit of contact. I believe Owen was up the inside of someone, and the car on the outside just got sort of turned round very slowly sideways. I think it might have been MDJ who got turned round on the outside, and unfortunately I think Martin drove into him and lost his front wing. So big shame for that for Martin. He's obviously going to have to come in the pits and get that changed.
Yep, unless he fancy driving like a half Formula Ford, half Formula 1 car, which, I mean, you never know, depends what your tastes are. But we go back to green flag racing, and obviously that virtual safety car, it kind of, to a degree, it does kind of separate people a little bit, because obviously everyone's going to a certain delta at that point, and obviously people manage their deltas differently, and that was an all from Bruce. What was...
got spooked coming out of turn 4, ran wide and glanced the wall, but he's managed to escape with no damage, so he's still not far off the back of Stinos at the moment. But yeah, very, very lucky. I was waiting for bits of wing to come off the car there, but I think he hit it at just the right angle to avoid any major damage. We've got 4 cars in the pits, so such was the incident there at the back of the field.
Yep. Martin, as we know, for a new wing, Reshka, ARL and Schizo all in the pits. Whether that's, I'm going to guess that's all for wing damages. Obviously, and the worst part for Schizo, he had to wait for Martin in the pit box because Martin was getting service before he was. Meanwhile, further back, Conan on the back of Joshua Bashford. I've just got the tyres up for everyone, and it's an interesting mix. Obviously, we're only now looking at the top 10 for tyre choices, but Conan gets past Joshua Bashford on the strip without the DRS. A bit of ERS probably used there. But we have hard runners of Stinos, Got Spooked, MDJ. The rest are on mediums except for Owen, who's elected to go for the soft compound of tyre. Oh, and that was Joshua Bashford. Nearly, I don't know whether he hit the wall or not, but there didn't look to be any damage. He's in the pit, so I'm guessing he did pick up damage. Just the end plate hasn't fallen off, so that's not ideal for the McLaren team. And as we said before, those mistakes, you don't have that much margin for error on those mistakes, and these mistakes are starting to creep in.
Yeah, exactly already. And as I said, you know, the difference between the handling of the cars in qualifying, obviously normally you expect a slight difference, but it's massive around here with the heavy fuel load. So, yeah, big shame there for Joshua, just that slight moment. And, yeah, he's obviously not quite at the back, but he's definitely not where he wants to be. I can only assume Owen's maybe gone for the soft tyre based on the hope of an early safety car. And, you know, he nearly got one just a minute ago, but unfortunately for him, it was just a virtual.
Yeah, and one key thing at the front of the pack, Merck just about inside a second. Obviously, DRS is now available. Yeah, Merck just within a second of his teammate. Is he going to get that DRS? I think he will do. Let's see how powerful this is. I think 8/10 is maybe a little bit too much. I mean, it's powerful, but possibly not quite that powerful around there. Although we'll have one look now as he closes in, and yeah, we're going to get to the braking zone. Before I say that, he does have a slight look, but just to tease everyone. Ashtube gets past, got spooked with that DRS, though, into the Plaza complex. And fourth for the Red Bull driver, who's had a bit of a hard start, but always showing that pace, and he's showing it once again as Owen gets all sorts of twitchy coming out of the Plaza complex.
Yeah, now you'll see here with this group of three as Conan is following these guys in front, watching with anticipation because they're getting very close. Big slide there from Spook coming out of turn 2, but yeah, with these guys being, and he's round, Spook's round, and I saw a bit of end plate come off, but I don't know who it came off of because he did ghost before
and he's just
went through.
He's also just reversed into the wall, and it wouldn't surprise me if he's just picked up some rear wing damage as well, and it looks like it is his own end plate, I think. No, it's not. It's not his end plate.
There was definitely a bit of bodywork did come off, but anyway, yeah, disaster for Got Spooked.
It is Conan's.
Oh, so Conan did pick up a bit of damage.
Front right end plate, so it's not even like he's hit the ball on the outside, because that would mean his left end plate would have been off, so I think he did just clip him. Which is a bit of a shame for Conan, because that wing is not going to be very helpful. I don't know whether it's just Owen's car and stuff, but he looks like he's like sliding out of every single corner, and I'm not quite sure whether it's just his sort of connection sort of status, or whether it's whether he genuinely is sliding around. But
we've seen it before with Owen. He does have a rather exuberant driving style, Owen McRae. So, yeah, it's I wouldn't be surprised if he is sliding around a little bit, trying to make the most of the tyres. But Owen's coming in the pits.
I think at this sort of level, those softs aren't surviving well on this high fuel load. As MDJ is looking at Ghost as we go through Harbour and up towards Caesars.
So, yeah, Owen, no front wing change for Owen, just the change to the medium tyre. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think maybe he's looked at this and thinking, yeah, these softs are just not working for him. And, yeah, onto the mediums, and he's clipping the wall on the way out of the pits. So, eager to get the power down. Nearly hitting the wall hard, but getting away with that one.
As we go through the Sphere complex with MDJ and Ghost, ARL and Reshka are having a bit of a battle. Let's go and have a little look near the tail end of the field. I think Schizo3 unfortunately is retired, I believe, in the pits. But here comes Reshka right back at ARL, down towards Caesars. ARL, good defence. It's not an easy one to defend into Caesars, because obviously you do leave yourself open to an attack going through into the sphere complex. But ARL has managed that. Obviously both on hard tyres, same age. Through the sphere complex up towards turn 9. And out they go once again. Now, further up, MDJ got close to Ghost, but not close enough. Same with Merc and Emir just trying to run away. Joshua Bashford picks up a place against Got Spooked with the DRS. And once again, I think Reshka might do as well.
Yeah, you'll find now that the guys here that are fighting here, Ghost and MDJ and Joshua Got Spooked in 2 separate battles, they'll probably just keep swapping places left, right and centre here. As soon as they get to the main Vegas Strip DRS zone, that's probably going to be the case. Merc is only 7 tenths behind Emir, so he's keeping pace with him. The gap to Stinos is massive. I know Stinos is on the hard tyres, but a 6-second gap already between Merc and Stinos is
back
huge.
in the pits. I think he did want to change his front wing, but it wasn't damage enough that on auto it would change. It's got a funny thing, this game. If it's not damaged quite enough and you leave it on auto to change the front wing, it will not change it. But any damage around here will cause an effect for you, which is not ideal. Merc, I think, once again, is in DRS, but isn't close enough to make a move either that, or he's not really bothered at this stage, because as you very much learnt on Monday, Bruce, you don't want to be the car in front on the last lap down this DRS zone.
No, you definitely have to fight all the urges to want to overtake the car in front, something I failed at miserably. But as you say, if you're in the lead and there's the yellow in sector 2...
Got Spooked has gone round at the mall.
He's in the wall. I mean, I wonder if he does have a bit of rear wing damage as well. We saw, obviously, he's already been round once and reversed into a wall.
Oh, Reshka's gone deep at the mall. He's gone to the wrong shop down there and he's cost him a place.
But yeah, Got Spooked having a bit of a disaster at the moment. Clearly got pace, but just making mistakes, and he's dropped now from 4th to 10th in the space of probably 3 or 4 laps, and he's a big slide again. He's got a lot of trouble with this car right now.
You feel that line was slightly unnecessary to go over the curb when you're just trying to nurse it back to the pitch. There's so much risk when you hit these curbs, even at slow speed. It just seemed a little bit silly to be taking that line, but he got away with it. In the meantime, MDJ and Ghost are still fighting as they head through the sphere section. As you can see behind the massive sphere. For anyone wondering, Bruce done a bit of research on some landmarks and stuff around the circuit. And that's what we've got the names from.
Accuracy is not guaranteed, but we're trying our best. I just blame the Las Vegas organisers for not sorting it out yet, I suppose. But the gaps are all merked as well. Now really close to Emir, but not going to make that move. I'm happy to sit behind once again. But the only other driver within DRS is currently MDJ on Ghost. Other than that, we have some rather large gaps.
Yeah, I think this circuit definitely proving tricky and kind of showing that the fact that as MDJ gets sideways through the Plaza complex at turn 15, it's cost him a touch of time and not enough to, or not having any DRS for the run up to Caesars. But this is definitely showing how... Oh, we have a safety car. I didn't see anyone retire. And I don't see anyone stopped on circuit.
No. Joshua Bashford is coming in the pits, however. I don't know if this is deliberate because of the safety car or if he's... Yeah, no, he doesn't. He's stopping for a front wing, so...
There's a front wing also going on for Conan. So
I wonder whether or not they've both come to grief somewhere. I don't remember if they were that close to each other, were they? So,
or maybe 2 separate incidents. Maybe they both clipped the wall somewhere at different corners, and the race director has thrown the safety car for clean-up duty. But And just looking at Reshka as well, Reshka is having just a normal pit stop. Owen's back in the pits for, I think this is the third time now this race. He's going for a Jensen Button record. He's looking to win this race off about 7 or 8 stops, I think. No front wing for him. Oh, I don't really know what's going on with Got Spooked, but he doesn't want to be there for long. He'll get disqualified for blocking the pit lane. He went into the pits and looked like he wanted to go back out of it. Either that or he's locked up. He's now retired. I wonder if he locked up on the entry.
Yeah, quite possibly. Surprisingly, he's retired on the basis there's now a safety car.
Maybe the team have run out of wings.
Maybe.
And we're going to have a double stack at the Aston Martin pit garage.
Yeah, unsurprising. Now, this will be interesting to see what tyres they go for. They can make it on the hard tyres, which it looks like that's what's gone on to Emir, but will Merckx try mediums to just try something different? No, they'll just try hards as well. So
Stinos is now on mediums, though, because he was on hards to begin with, so that's going to be interesting to see how that pans out.
Yeah, I would be. I think he could probably get to the end on those tyres, but I think it's going to be very, very sketchy towards the end of the race. So
it's going to be about, what, 13, 14 laps by the time the safety car comes back in. I mean, obviously, it's probably going to be different for these guys because they're pushing at a lot faster rate than what I was. But I found on Monday, about 13 laps was when the mediums did start to cry just a little bit. They started to become that little bit slidier than they were. So he's probably on the verge there of where that sort of cliff is.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, I think they will wear towards the end. I think they can make it. Definitely, they can make it without too many issues. But it's just that drop off towards the end of the stint really is going to be an issue compared to the hard tyre drivers. So, it will be interesting to see how he manages it. I expect him to pull away early, so it's whether or not he can then manage that once he's pulled that gap on them. But then obviously, safety cars bring safety cars, so there's always a chance that this could, the strategy could change again very shortly once we go green.
I'm pretty certain. I mean, I had the safety car chance down at 100% for this race, so I'm pretty certain tiers 2 to 4 all had safety cars. So my chance rate was 100% because we've done 3 races, had 3 safety cars, and that rate is still intact. So RP tomorrow, you've got a 100% chance of a safety car at the way this is going.
In both races.
Yes. One thing I did notice as well, I mean, just kind of away from the racing, you see obviously all the graphics in around the Las Vegas circuit. They show off all the drivers like they do in the intro for F1. I did notice they haven't yet updated it to show Daniel Ricciardo. It still shows Nick de Vries, which I find quite funny.
I mean, it's nice to know he's still being thought of, I suppose, Nick de Vries. Yeah, I suspect. I mean, I'd rather they didn't change it in case they break something. So
this is a very interesting strategy from Ghost. He's coming in from wing. That's not ideal. I was going to say, yeah, I get a feeling he's going to hope the safety car's going to go round for another lap to come back in and put the hards back on. But I was going to say, I thought that was an interesting strategy because he done a lap on the hard tyres under safety car and he came back in. I was wondering whether he was going to put on a set of mediums maybe. He'd done the mandatory lap on the hards, come in, get a set of softs on the car and a set of mediums, and then you can go to the end on those. So, but obviously not. I don't think those softs will make 13, 14, 15 laps, unfortunately.
No, that would be a special effort to make that. I think probably on the softs you're looking maybe 9, 10 laps perhaps before they drop off a very large cliff. But Owen slowly catching up here with the back of the train. I don't think he's going to catch up quick enough for us to go back to racing at the end of this lap, though. I mean, the safety car does tend to let you know very, very late that it's coming in due to the late positioning of that last sector on this circuit. So he may make it. I'm not sure. Depends how much Burnt Mylander puts his foot down the strip.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're just approaching that sector 3 line. It normally doesn't appear until about the speed where the speed trap is on the map. Let's have a look. I think just coming up into Plaza. I think we're going to go around once more. I think this is now too late for the safety car to come in, so we're going to go around once more. And I have a feeling the AlphaTauri of Ghost may just come in the pits and get rid of those softs. It's either that or
he's not shaping for it.
No, so he's going to stay out on those. Maybe thinking, like you suggested, Bruce, safety cars breed safety cars. He's going to get another chance at a bit of a free pit stop at near the end.
Yeah, it's not a bad strategy. I think Ghost isn't having the best of races so far, so why not try something different? He's definitely going to obviously have substantial grip on the guys on the mediums and substantial grip on the hard, so maybe this is a plan to get as far up as he possibly can and then hope for that safety car so that everyone then comes in for another pit stop towards the middle to end of this race.
Absolutely. They're just going through Caesars now. It'd be interesting to see the driver's take on this track afterwards, because it's one of those circuits that you probably hate it to begin with, and then you kind of learn to like the circuit because I think the layout of it's quite good. It's quite an interesting layout. It's challenging. Obviously, being a street circuit, you have minimal room for error, and it's definitely harder to pick your braking points, but it's such a challenging circuit. I think that's what's the most enjoyable thing about it.
Yeah, definitely. And on paper, and even just looking at the mini map, it looks like a really easy circuit to learn, but it really isn't. It's got a lot of tricky sort of things about it. Obviously, the turn 3 and 4, it's a slight dip and slightly off camber if you run too wide, so that can catch you out there. It's easy to miss your braking point then down at 5, and then obviously you've got your tightening left-handers at the sphere, and also the left-handed braking point for the Malc corner. So yeah, very, very tricky, even though it looks quite simple.
So on board of them here, we are getting ready to go back racing here at Las Vegas. We've got a few drivers taking a gamble on their tyre selection. I say one person taking a gamble on their tyres. That is Ghost. He's hoping to get a bit of a win out of this and get some positions. But Emir goes now. And he's got a good restart. Enough that Merck is not going to have a chance at him down into turn number 1. That's the main thing for Emir, not allowing his teammate that opportunity. Ashtube on the back of Stinos. He's staring at a podium at the moment, but on those hards he slides a little bit wide. A little bit of understeer. Here comes Merck round the outside. That is a beautiful move. And he should get the place on the exit. Yes, he does. SFR Martin gets past ARL. I think that was on the inside, or the ARL fighting back. Is he on the outside? Oh, big crash. Owen and Reshka down the straight towards Caesars. I do not know what happened. I just called that in the bottom of the screen. But that is going to bring out another safety car.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I was actually on board with Martin and ARL at the time. ARL actually threw one up the inside at turn 1, a well-judged move. But because of the nature of the left end going into the right, they were side by side. And yeah, some brilliant racing from the both of them. But yeah, massive crash, but as you say, the sounds it between Owen and Reshka, but just didn't catch it from my perspective.
I mean, there's probably a number of explanations. One could be, I think Owen was on the outside of the corner, so I mean, one of them could be that Owen lost the rear end and that's what happened, or someone's veered into the other down that straight, but that was a pretty hefty accident, and I think we're going to see another spate of pit stops here, especially for those on the hards, to maybe get rid of them and get the grippier medium on for the end of this race, or potentially even the soft.
Yeah, this will be interesting now. Obviously, Emir being the lead Aston, be interested to see what he does. Will Merckx do whatever Emir doesn't do, just to have a slightly different strat?
Emir's not shaping
Emir's
up.
staying out.
So is Merckx.
Staying out.
MDJ is
Ash, you looked at it, but changed his mind.
We do have, that is ARL coming in the pits. We have Ghost in the pits. I think Ghost, that's a bit of a... Ghost locked up on the edge of the pit lane then. Got away with it. But Ghost, I think this was kind of expected. I think he'll go mediums.
The ARL changing from 3-lap-old mediums to fresh mediums, so just going for the extra grip. Obviously his position on track, he's not really losing anything. I think one place he's just dropped there from that, so probably a good shape there. Yeah, we're in a position now that as long as you finish, you get points.
That is true. Top 10 score points, and we have 10 runs left. 14 started, 10 remain. If you have just joined us, we're on lap 13 under the second safety car of the night. This one caused by an incident between Owen and Reshka on the straight between turn 4 and 5 between Harbour and Caesars. In terms of a catch-up, Schizo Free retired early on in the pits. It just wasn't his sort of night. Got spooked, again, retired in the pits under the first safety car after a few visits to the wall. I think potentially he may have retired because he did have rear wing damage, because it's not easy to get around without any wing damage. And obviously, as you just heard, Owen and Reshka out with an incident of their own on lap 12. Yeah,
absolutely. As you say, if got spooked, did have rear wing damage. It's very difficult, especially around a circuit like this with the high speed. Corners, so the ones between the sphere and the mile are very, very difficult in themselves. So, excuse me. So yeah, big shame. We lost 4 people already, only halfway through the race. So, I mean, I'd like to think we won't lose another 4 and be down to 6, but you just never know with this. It could be quite an unpredictable end to this race.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, and your prophecy of safety cars bringing safety cars has once again come true. I think so we're going to go around for another lap on the safety car, and no, Merc just... I don't know if Merc's trying to play a few games here and maybe try and force Emir into the pits, but Martin into the pits.
He's going to go for medium, another set of mediums again, or do you think he's going to try and push the boat out on some softs?
Looks like mediums in the pit box to me. So they're not brand new mediums, they are 1 lap old, but obviously because I believe he started on those mediums at the start of this race, and then he obviously pitted, so they are slightly fresher. Confirmation from spooked rear wing damage.
See, Emir here is wanting the safety car to get on with it a little bit. I think, he's in that rhythm. Him and Mert were gapping the rest of them. He wants to just get on it, get back in that rhythm as quickly as possible. All these safety cars will just disturb that, and you just want them out of the way as quickly as possible, just to get yourself back in the zone, really.
Yeah, and the biggest problem here for Emir is obviously when he goes, there's every chance he could spin the wheels up and give Merc the opportunity to get past him into turn 1 at Harbour. And then obviously with the pack so tight, you're then also liable to Stinos behind because he is on the medium tyres, which they're the same age. But with these safety car laps, those mediums are going to start looking like the better tyre for the rest of this race.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'd agree with that one. It'd be interesting to see as well now with ARL in 8th on those fairly fresh mediums, what he can do now from that position. You'd have to think, safety car is in this lap, you'd have to think that Conan, Joshua and Ashtube were kind of susceptible to an attack from ARL, Ghost and Martin behind.
So you're on board with Emir once again. When's he going to go this time? He went fairly late last time. It looks like he's going to do a similar sort of thing here. Keeping it nice and consistent on the speed. When does he go? He starts to build a bit of pace. Down a second. Now he goes. Another good restart for our Emir as we head towards Harbour for the 15th time this race. And Ash Tube looking to the inside of MDJ. Not quite going to make that one work. Oh, MDJ has a bit of a slide as we go through Harbour, through the second part now. Stinos around the outside, just about going to hold that. Looks like wide from Conan, allows Joshua Bashford through. But we got side-by-side action. MDJ, Stinos on the inside for Caesars. Can he keep it there? Yes, he can. Question is, will he leave enough room? Yes, he does. Good racing between the pair. Joshua Bashford and Conan behind, also going side by side. Conan making up that place back. MDJ picks off Stinos in the end into the Sphere Complex. Joshua Bashford still side by side with Conan through 7, 8, into 9. Good racing between the pair. Good space given. And look at ARL behind, waiting to pounce. Bashford keeps that place for now. And here comes ARL. Looks to the side of Conan, thinks better of it as we go through the flat out sections of 10-11. I say that. He still has a look, but does eventually give way and goes down the inside at the mole. Nope, backs out of that one. Probably the smart move, but now he's going to come under threat from Ghost, who's going to have a good run out of the mole onto the strip, and you kind of feel ARL could have done that to Conan instead.
Yeah, definitely. I think he would have been better off just tucking in behind there, but yeah, there's excellent racing, as you say, between Joshua and Conan there. The space given was absolutely brilliant, and fair play, that could have easily ended in a bit of disaster, but no, fantastic racing from the two drivers there. But yeah, ARL really has lost out big time there, and now Ghost is going to want to get on the back of Conan and the trio in the front on the hard tyres.
Meanwhile, the Aston Martins in front have already gapped MDJ by a second. I say MDJ now just starting to get into DRS range. It'd be interesting to see what MDJ can do. We know he's a quick driver. It'd be interesting to see if he can get into that 1 second when the DRS becomes active, and whether that's going to help him in the fight against the Aston Martins. Meanwhile,
Martin looking at the inside of ARL at the moment.
Into Caesars they go. ARL going to hang it around the outside and should keep that place now into the Sphere Complex, but I tell you what, that was close to the wall from ARL through the left-hander. Still side by side once again, same with like Bashford and Conan. A little bit of tap, but all hard and fair racing. And Martin will claim 9th place for his own.
Yeah, quite a clumsy corner that, and Martin just got on the curb and sort of was a half passenger there. So contact was sort of inevitable. Luckily, due to the slow nature of the corner, it wasn't really detrimental to either of their races. But I mean, they have dropped off the back of Ghost now, and Ghost has got a great view of Joshua and Conan side by side. And it looks like Ghost is shaping up to have a move on Josh as well.
And this is without DRS as well. Ghost looking to the inside of Bashford, thinks better of it as we head into the plaza. Back onto the main drag we go. DRS enabled. MDJ now just outside a second. As we head through Harbour, I'll say that he's now going to close in through Harbour. So he should, because the detection is just before turn 3 and 4. Yes, he does get DRS. So this is now going to become an interesting fight at the front. Stinos has DRS, as does MDJ. Here comes Ghost. He's going to look to the inside of Bashford, up towards Caesars. Bashford gives him a little bit of a squeeze, but it's all fair. Cars width given. In fact, more than cars width, a bit of contact. And Ghost backs out. Good sportsmanship from Ghost there.
Yeah, good car control as well from Joshua Bashford to hold on to that one. But yeah, MDJ, I wonder if he's running slightly higher wings than the two Aston Martins, and that's why he's able to close up on the tighter corners of 1, 2, 3 and 4. And now he's well within DRS of Merc. I don't think Merc's going to have much choice but to overtake his teammate here, otherwise he's going to be under attack from MDJ.
Yeah, and the problem is Emir is going to become a slightly sitting duck if he's not careful. He could get overtaken by both Merc and MDJ. Here comes Merc. He moves to the side. It looks like they are going to make the switch between the two Astons. Emir covers the racing line from MDJ. As the Aston Martins are now going to have to start playing leapfrog with one another to keep that Williams at bay. Conan side by side through the plaza with Ashtube. Great racing between the pair. As Ashtube looking to re-overtake him into turn 17, the final corner of the circuit. Flat left we go, down the inside towards Harbour. And Ashtube already out of ERS, you can tell by the flashing light. We can say that because that's no big secret in F1 games nowadays. Ghost almost making it 3 wide. Thinks better of it, and he'll get good traction out of turn 4 with DRS now. He should get past Conan, I think, as well. Now we're going to go 3 wide down towards Caesars, and they all sort themselves out.
Emmy is down. Emmy down to 4th. Haven't seen what's happened, but he has dropped down from 2nd to 4th now. So maybe a small mistake, or was it just the DRS in that first DRS thing? Because MBJ was very close behind him.
Could be. Well, you'd have to think Emir would have had DRS on Mercked. So, slight surprise there for Emir, now down to be 4th. This is a position you don't see the Aston Martins in a lot, but it's a position we love to see them in.
Yeah, no, we want to see the challenge take them, definitely, and it's making them work hard for this. I think you're going to see MDJ now take the lead of this race, and probably Stinos come past, but also Emir now coming past Stinos as well, so... This is,
and look at the speed of Mert.
Stuff.
He's just of Emir. Sorry, he's just overtaken 3 cars, potentially down into the plaza. Although MGJ sticking it to the inside, can't quite keep it there. And Emir Jurakovic, a 3-man overtake down towards the plaza. Meanwhile, Mert gets a 3-man position loss.
Yeah, I think Emir running very, very low wings, and that's potentially why he's just breezed past everyone in that manner. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see though. But even though he's got those low wings, I think a little bit of a slide there from him here, but all well held. And Stinos now about to attack MDJ.
Yeah, MDJ was wide through 4. The problem is these guys don't particularly need to be fighting, because if they fight and let Emir go, you fear that if Emir gets out of DRS like we've seen before, he will just run away. So they have to pick their moment correctly here with the 2 Astons around them. Meanwhile, SFR Martin has got past Joshua Bashford. Joshua Bashford has gone backwards a little bit. I can't see any damage though, so just on track action. Meanwhile, back at the front, Emir leading the way in this quartet of cars.
Yeah, just quickly before we go into this overtake fast down the straight again, very, very close between Joshua and Martin. Josh literally gave Martin the bare minimum room he required. Was very, very close to going in the wall, but yeah, really, really tight stuff, but good spatial awareness again.
DRS open.
MDJ.
Here comes MDJ, here comes Mercked as well. MDJ makes the move on Emir. Here comes Mercked, looking to the outside of the plaza. I don't think this is quite going to work. No, it doesn't. So this time, well, I don't know if there's a bit of contact there between Mercked and Stinos, whether that was off the curb. I couldn't quite see round the corner. But that has allowed Mercked through on Stinos. But Mercked is now a second behind the leading pair.
Yeah, that was actually just Stinos, and Emir goes very wide. Do you think that's to give Mercked DRS? A deliberate move?
It could be.
Yeah, Stinos just made a mistake on the curb there, and yeah, no contact at all between the Aston and the Ferrari.
There we go. The onboard eyes there. It's a shame because the camera's like positioned just after the flick left, so you can't quite see around the corner. Joshua Bashford, though, is going past Martin. Martin looking for a switch back towards the Sphere Complex. Around the outside they go. It's like deja vu for a couple of these joys. Oh, Martin getting really, really twitchy through there. Although Joshua Bashford's line through the chicane was obviously quite tight, trying to defend, and it's allowed Martin just to close back up on him again. Meanwhile, back as we go through Mole Corner. Everyone shopping for a bit of DRS assistance down this straight, and Bruce picking up on something there.
So MDJ very close to the wall. I think he may have glanced it slightly there coming out of the corner, but he still appears to have his whole wing intact. So on we continue as Emir, unsurprisingly, just drives past MDJ using that DRS.
Yeah, Merckx obviously closing the gap, but not close enough. Someone we need to speak about, Ghost. He's up into 5th place. Remember, he pitted for new medium tyres on that last safety car. He's now up to 5th. Unfortunately, 5 seconds behind Stinos, I think. That DRS train is so important around this circuit. I'm not sure whether Ghost will be able to catch up to Stinos by the end of this race. It's going to be quite a hard task. 5 laps to go. You have to pull at least a second lap, and that's before he even gets the chance to overtake.
Yeah, I mean, unless these guys in front start fighting really, really hard, but I think that the DRS is so powerful that anything that he'll gain mid lap, he'll just lose down that back straight anyway. So realistically, yeah, I think fifth for Ghost is probably where he's looking at now. But this top four, it could literally finish in any order. We really don't know.
Absolutely, it's as MDJ has to go cross country, and it's given him a 3-second time penalty. Now he may be able cleaning of the tyre, I think, there as he goes off because of going off track. There is a chance that he could get that removed. It depends how many warnings he's had, because obviously this game does have a habit of just instantly penalising you 3 seconds, even if you haven't had 2 warnings. So that could change.
Especially through that particular section of track, it does dish out penalties rather aggressively, shall we say. But MDJ didn't have a particularly good run out of the corner before the strip there, but I don't know if that was kind of deliberate, that he didn't want to overtake. I mean, are we potentially getting to that phase of race when no one now wants to be in the lead?
But the question remains, where do you want to be in this quartet? I mean, we know about if you're fighting 1 car. What if you're fighting 3?
I think if you're Emir, you could be in 4th probably and still come out of that strip in the lead, judging by the pace he had just a minute ago. But yeah, I mean, really, you don't want to be at the front. That's for sure. When you're unless you have an absolute mountain of ERS left, you just do not want to be in first place as you go down to that final lap.
Meanwhile, we've got a trio battling now as Martin gives Bashford the bare minimum space into Caesars, and that allows Ashtube up into 8th place. So we now got a quartet at the front, a trio in the middle, and if this trio continue to battle, ARL could potentially latch onto the back of this, which would be good to see, although again, a bit like Ghost, possibly a little bit far-fetched at this stage of the race. Emir, however, goes through them all onto the back stretch. Down the strip we go. Now, surely if you're setting something up here, I think you're correct in the fact that MDJ is not looking to overtake anymore. He's looking just to stay in second and stick with that DRS. However, if he's not careful, Merckx will very easily overtake him as well if he's caught napping.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, with there still being 3 laps left, not a huge issue. We'll be interested. I think this is going to be all tactics now. It really is. I mean, Stinos seems to be sitting very quietly at the back of this quartet. Is he just, rebuilding the RS potentially at this point in the race, ready for that last lap attack?
Well, I mean, glancing through the onboards, I know what the ERS situations are. I'm not going to say it out loud because it's not our place to say. As Stinos has a look down the inside of Merckx, that's going to be tight. It's a little bit of contact. Merckx in the wall, I think. Stinos is through, although I don't think Merckx would be too happy with that move.
No, definitely contact there, and as you say, slight contact with the wall from Merckx, but he seems to still have end plates left on his car, so fingers crossed he doesn't have any serious damage from that. And he can continue to fight. But now Stinos and Merckx are very, very close to not having that DRS.
Yeah, could that move just made this into a 2-horse race for this Las Vegas Grand Prix? And we say 2-horse race because obviously every result here is provisional until the steward's findings afterwards. So, like we say, that penalty for MDJ could very easily end up getting removed. Meanwhile, I think Joshua Bashford just got past Ashtube at the mole corner, which is quite an impressive feat because that's not an easy corner to overtake on. They will both get DRS. And here comes Ashtube right back at the McLaren. All 3 of these cars do not really have any ERS left to play with, so this is all literally just fighting on equal terms, you have to feel. As Ashford goes into 7th, Joshua Bashford in 8th, and Martin down to 9th.
Yeah, excellent little battle they've got on the go here. It's not going to let up, I don't think, for the last 2 laps. Stinos done a good job of now clinging back on the back end of MDJ. Merckx, though, I wonder if he does have slight damage from that slight contact with the ball, because he has dropped out. And ARL comes into pits, so I'm assuming he's going for a fastest lap, which it looks like he is.
Yeah, we love a fastest lap attempt at the end. And the thing for ARL here, it's worth it because obviously it's fair to say, as we look at Joshua Bashford now get back past Ashtube, here comes Martin into Caesars as well. In the Haas, that's good stuff by them. The thing for ARL, if he can grab that fastest lap, he will get the point because only 10 cars are in the race. So this is very much beneficiary to him. As Ashtube, I think Ashtube just picked up 3 seconds, same as MDJ.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer really for ARL. It's there's no risk in taking that unless you put it in the wall, I suppose. But going for that fastest lap, but yeah, no risk at all. MDJ now 9/10 behind Emir. Emir's just stretched his legs a little bit. Stinos now catching, but look how quickly the DRS is making MDJ catch up to the back of Emir.
Yeah, and Merck is also in DRS range of Stinos, so this quartet, I think we're about to see this sort of last lap shootout now between this quartet of cars, and it's going to be fantastic to watch. Meanwhile, Ashtube going past Martin, the pair of these two looking to go past Bashford, and I think Bashford... Oh!
Bits of wing have gone flying there, and yeah, Ashtube completely missing his front wing now, unfortunately, from that impact. Fairly unnecessary, I have to say, to be fair.
Yeah, it just looked like he kind of came across on Bashford in the braking zone, trying to take the racing line, and unfortunately getting a bit of contact and into the wall. But this fight's still going on for 7th place. At the front, MDJ 4/10 behind the leading Aston Martin. It's like a sandwich. This you got the pieces of bread of the Aston Martin with a Williams and Ferrari filling, which is great to see. It's and we got instant down at the Caesars corner. That is Martin. He's now losing a front wing, so I'm not sure what happened there. Stinos is outside of DRS. And MDJ's nearly lost it.
That could have handed the race in out to Emir. 9/10. I just don't think MDJ's going to catch him. That one little mistake out of that corner.
You can see MDJ has lost. Also, he's not got really any ERS to play with either. Those lights flashing on the back of his car. Merck looking at the back of Stinos into the plaza. He's going to look to the outside. Look to maybe switch back. Can't quite do it. Merck also running out of ERS. Sideways from Stinos coming out of the plaza. But here we go. Emir Jurakovic is going to win the inaugural Tier 1 Las Vegas Grand Prix. MDJ will finish second on the road, but Merck will end up getting second with Stinos in third, MDJ fourth. Ghost, a great recovery drive from the back of the pack today, 5th for him. Conan 6th. Ashtube, with no front wing, might I add, has managed to get 7th, although again he has a penalty which may get retracted back later. So Bashford in 7th, Ashtube in 8th. Martin, another car with no front wing, will come home in 9th. And AR, I think AR just got the fastest lap at the end.
Yeah, I think he grabbed that bonus point there, ARL. So yeah, I can only assume maybe Joshua Bashford was involved in the incident with Martin, and that's what allowed Ashtube to get past. Obviously back past Martin because he was doing a 3-point turn, but that must be why he managed to get ahead of Joshua Bashford there towards the end.
So fantastic scenes here as Emir once again on the top of the podium. Ghost did pick up driver of the day, which I to some degree completely agree with, from the back of the pack, and also having to go on a bit of an alternate strategy after his wing didn't get changed. It was a good drive from the AlphaTauri. But it's not an Aston Martin 1-2, which is good to see. It's a 1-2, but it could. It could. I think it'll be different. I think it'll be a 1-3 for the Aston Martins, dependent on how the stewards go. But Bruce, would you like to take us through the provisional race results for the Las Vegas Grand Prix?
Yeah, indeed. I'd say very provisional results. But yeah, Emir taking the win straight from pole position to win the race, with Merck second, his teammate in the Aston Martin. Stinos, a fantastic third with MDJ in fourth. Ghost, as you say, an excellent drive from him to fifth, with Conan in sixth. Joshua Bashford seventh. The wingless Ashtube and Martin eighth and ninth. And ARL, our last classified finisher, with the fastest lap as well, in 10th. DNFs for Owen, Reska, Gottsboot, Schizo free as well.
Absolutely, and that's fantastic from IRL. That's absolutely brilliant. You gotta love it when that happens sometimes.
Yeah, it's as you say, at that point of the race, he wasn't gaining anything out of it. Although he did very nearly catch Martin for ninth as well at the end there. So, but yeah, always worth a try. I think with the fact everyone else have been pretty much running mediums and hards throughout the race, it's always a good shout that you're going to get it done on low fuel and on those soft tyres.
Yeah, I just could see if we can get some write-ups and also see if Stinos is joining us or doing a write-up himself. So, the end of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. We'll just wait and see, give drivers time to do small write-ups, etc., etc. For some reason, it didn't tag Stinos. There we go. But I mean, racing all around, and the majority of it was very, very good tonight. Obviously, a few incidents along the way, but generally speaking, for a first time around a circuit, that was pretty good racing there.
Yeah, definitely. It continued the theme of the other tiers that we've had this week as well. The racing's been nice and close. There was a danger at one point there in the race that it was going to spread out massively, but obviously that safety car, that first safety car changed that and brought everyone back together, and from then on we were treated to some great racing. And as you say, some unfortunate incidents as well, but yeah, a great effort from all the guys, as you say, a new track to learn. This year. So yeah, brilliant stuff, and hopefully, next season we'll see the return of Vegas again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great track to come to. Emir Djurkovic, obviously the winner, saying his quality was perfect. He made no mistakes, however, in the race. The second safety car made it easier for the medium runners to go to the end. He didn't think it made much difference anyways. He had some good battles with Merck, MDJ and Stinos. And they all made some silly mistakes near the end, and it was really fun. I mean, it was fun to watch, to be fair. But I don't know if we'll get one from Merck or Stinos. Don't know. But next week, Bruce, we go to Singapore. Now, obviously, not a new track. However, the drivers do have to learn a new section of it because the layout did change.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, the bit towards the end of the lap, I think it was under a hotel, I believe, back in the days. But yeah, they skipped that bit out now. It does potentially open up another overtaking opportunity, to be honest. So, in my opinion, from what I've driven it on this game, it's actually a change for the better. But yeah, totally, another street circuit, but totally different character to what we've just seen tonight at Las Vegas. But in theory, should do. Should provide us with some good racing again. Yeah,
I mean, Singapore tends to be a pretty staple circuit in terms of having a street circuit on the calendar. Due to its nature, where you do get close racing, but again, a little bit like Las Vegas, a little bit, you don't have much room for error, and incidents will occur. Obviously, we hope they don't, but it's a natural thing that you make a mistake, and the repercussions of it are big.
Yes, definitely. You'd have to say probably a few spaces around Singapore. There's a little bit more space to get away with things, but yeah, easy enough to drop the car. But as I say, I think there'll definitely be good racing, some incidents. It's going to be a race full of drama, I'm sure.
Yeah, all we want is the sling back now. Get that sling back in. Merckx saying his pace was good as it was going. Was as good as it was going to get. Emir was an alien apparently again, as per usual. Some good battles with the guys up top. Shame he talking about the damage he got on lap 23 as he thinks he could have battled for the win possibly. He's obviously said well done to the podium. Stinos is also typing, so we'll track this out a little bit longer to see if we can get something out of him. But yeah, just obviously note for your diaries. Obviously next week is round 10 at Singapore. The week after, just a slight update from Abu Dhabi. Obviously that race got postponed. We are having a complete reset of everything during the week break. After Singapore, Abu Dhabi will be run in that week break for Tier 1, and it will be from scratch qualifying, followed by the race again. So in essence, that kind of becomes our new round 10 with the rejigged calendar to a sense. For those that were tuned in last week, that's what's happening with that race. So no breaks from here to the end of the season is going to be tough for some of the drivers.
Yeah, definitely. I think some of the guys would have been looking forward to that break week, which they're not going to get. So yeah, it keeps everyone in the flow of it. I suppose it's easy to have that week off and then become a bit complacent towards the end of the season. But I think with the Abu Dhabi race now running in what was going to be the break week, it should get everyone into a nice flow and hopefully keep the competitiveness of this tier going, because it's been a great season so far.
It has. I mean, and I genuinely hope that the racing we got tonight with those Aston Martins continues, because it was great. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's phenomenal Emir and Merc do. I mean, you have to respect their speed, but when people are challenging them for the win and it takes them to the end of the race, that's fantastic to see as well from a division point of view, that people are there challenging them and making life hard for them. They're not just driving off in the distance, they are being made to work for those points.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'd have to say at the moment, tonight obviously we had Stinos in with the party as well at the front. MDJ's had a great last couple of races and really shown what he can do. I think from what I gather, he's going to look at getting that 3 seconds removed, so he'll potentially get second place tonight. Obviously, still yet to be decided on that one, but just that one slight mistake at that corner, he could have been looking at the race win there, going down the strip. So, at the moment, it's all looking good for Aston. I think they've won every race so far this season. It's been an Aston win. But we're getting closer to that dominance being ended. It's probably a bit too late in the season for the constructors' title to change sort of complexion. But at the moment, it's just, as you say, great to see a couple of the other guys putting a challenge to them and making them work a bit harder for it.
Actually, and our final podium placement for tonight, Stinos saying his quality was pretty okay. Didn't have a lot of practice, so he's happy with P3. The race start was good for him and was in no man's land until the safety car came out. He said it was pretty bad because tyre wear was high and had to do a very long stint on mediums, but as Emir was saying, the second safety car made his life a bit easier. Had some fun battling with the other top guys. Had a nice drag race to the finish line, but just missed out, just missing a bit of top speed with the setup, but I thought it was a fun race. It's great to see obviously the drivers enjoying the league, but that is all the time we have for Tier 1. Tomorrow we have the Realistic Performance League brought to you by Jack TM53 Synopsis. Again, from Las Vegas, the last race of Las Vegas for this week, which some drivers may be happy with, some may not. But that is at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. And in terms of the rest of the tiers next week, we do head to Singapore. Tiers 3 and 4 on Monday, brought to you by JP911 and Official Zero. Tier 2 brought to you by Joe Hamster 9 on the Tuesday, all at 8 p.m. And obviously we're back next Wednesday at 8 p.m. for Tier 1 at Singapore. But from us here in the commentary box, thank you all for watching the Invictus Racing League Tier 1 in partnership with gridfind.com and Venturi Studios. We hope you all have a good rest of your evening. Goodbye.